John Cena's story is not just about championships, muscle, or famous catchphrases. It is the story of a man who refused to disappear, no matter how many times the world told him he didn't belong. Long before arenas chanted his name, John Cena was just a kid trying to find his place. He wasn't the biggest, the fastest, or the most naturally gifted athlete. What he had instead was an unbreakable work ethic and a stubborn belief that effort could outweigh talent. When he first arrived in WWE, nothing was guaranteed. He was quiet, intense, and unsure of how to stand out in a locker room full of giants and loud personalities. In those early days, Cena struggled. He came close to being released, close to becoming just another name that fans would never remember. Doubt followed him everywhere. But instead of folding, he adapted, he reinvented himself, found his voice, and embraced a persona that blended confidence with defiance. When he started rapping, speaking directly to his opponents, something clicked. The audience noticed him. Management noticed him. And most importantly, Cena finally noticed his own potential. As his rise began, so did the pressure. Winning his first major championship was not the end goal. It was the beginning of scrutiny. The crowd was divided. Some loved his energy, his message, his connection with younger fans. Others rejected him, believing he was being pushed too hard, too fast. Cena stood in the middle of that storm, absorbing cheers and boos at the same time, learning a lesson few could handle. You can't please everyone. What defined John Cena during this era was not just winning, but endurance. Match after match, year after year, he carried the company on his shoulders. When others burned out or broke down, Cena kept showing up. Injured or healthy, loved or hated, he walked to the ring with the same confidence. He turned criticism into fuel. Every boo became proof that people cared enough to react. Rivalries shaped him. Battles against legends tested his resolve, while clashes with younger stars forced him to evolve. He was no longer just fighting opponents, he was fighting time itself. Each generation tried to replace him, and each time Cena stood firm. He didn't run from competition. He welcomed it, believing that the only way to stay relevant was to face the best head-on. Behind the scenes, the grind was relentless. Endless travel, physical pain, and mental exhaustion became part of his routine. Yet Cena never complained publicly. He believed in setting an example, in being the person others could rely on. For him, leadership wasn't about speeches. It was about consistency, being there when it mattered. Over time, something unexpected happened. The same fans who once rejected him began to respect him. They saw his loyalty, his discipline, and his refusal to cut corners. They saw that Cena never pretended to be perfect. He embraced who he was. Hustle, loyalty, and respect weren't just slogans. They were principles he lived by, even when it was difficult. As his wrestling career evolved, so did his identity. Cena began exploring opportunities outside the ring, stepping into acting and media. Many doubted him again, questioning whether he could succeed beyond wrestling. Once more, Cena faced skepticism with determination. He studied, trained, failed, learned, and improved. Just as he had in wrestling, he earned his place through effort, not shortcuts. Despite branching out, he never truly left wrestling behind. Every return felt meaningful. Each appearance carried nostalgia and weight. He was no longer trying to prove he was the best. He was showing what longevity and commitment looked like. When he spoke to younger wrestlers, his words carried experience, not ego. He understood his role had changed, and he accepted it with humility. Outside the spotlight, Cena's impact grew in quieter ways. Through countless charitable acts, especially granting wishes to children facing serious illness, he showed a side of strength rarely highlighted. Not strength through dominance, but through compassion. For many, those moments defined him more than any title ever could. As the years passed, Cena faced the reality every athlete eventually confronts. The body slows down, the spotlight shifts, and the future becomes uncertain. But instead of fearing that moment, he prepared for it. He understood that legacy isn't about how long you stay on top, but about how you handle change. When John Cena stands today, looking back on his journey, he doesn't see perfection. He sees mistakes, missed chances, and moments of doubt. But he also sees resilience. He sees a kid who refused to quit, a performer who carried an industry through turbulent times, and a man who learned that true success is measured by impact, not applause. John Cena's story is not about being invisible or unstoppable. It's about showing up when it's hard, staying true when it's unpopular, and pushing forward when the world expects you to fade away. Long after the lights dim and the chants fade, his legacy remains as a reminder that perseverance, when paired with humility, can turn belief into reality.